My name is James. I am 45 years old. I have a wife. Her name is Emma. We have two children, a son and a daughter. My son's name is Ethan. My daughter's name is Lily. 12 years ago, I got a job in Dubai. The job paid very well. I said to Emma, I will go for 2 years, then I will come back. Emma said, okay, James, we will wait for you. I went to Dubai. I worked hard. I send money home every month. Emma bought a new house. Emma bought a car. The children went to good schools. 2 years passed, then 5 years passed, then 10 years passed. I always said, 1 more year, then I will come home. But I never came home. Every year, Ethan had a birthday. I was not there. Every year, Lily had a birthday. I was not there. I called them on the phone. I said, I love you. I miss you. But a phone call is not the same as a hug. Emma raised the children alone. She went to their school meetings alone. She sat with them when they were sick. She was mother and father together. One night, my phone rang. It was late. I saw my brother's name on the screen. I felt afraid. I answered. My brother's voice was shaking. He said, James, come home now. Father is very sick. I said, I will book a flight tomorrow. He said, James, there is no tomorrow. Please come now. I booked the next flight. I sat on the plane for many hours. My heart was heavy. I thought about my father's face. I thought about his voice. I thought, I have missed so much time. When I landed, my brother called again. His voice was quiet. He said, James, father is gone. I felt my whole body go cold. I had come too late. At the funeral, I saw my family. Emma stood there in black clothes. She looked tired. She looked older. Beside her stood a tall young man. I did not know him. My brother whispered, James, that is Ethan. I looked again. My son was not a little boy anymore. He was a man. Beside him stood a young woman. That was Lily. She was not my little girl anymore. She was grown up. After the funeral, I went to my old house. It felt strange. It did not feel like my home. Emma made tea for me. We sat at the table in silence. I said, Emma, I am sorry. I was not here for father. I was not here for the children. I was not here for you. Emma looked at me. Her eyes were wet. She said, James, you sent money. You gave us a good life. But money cannot hug a child at night. Money cannot come to a school play. Money cannot hold my hand when I am afraid. I did not know what to say. I looked down at my hands. Emma spoke again. Her voice was soft but firm. She said, there was a time, James, when I was very lonely. A man at my work was kind to me. He listened to me. So, one moment, I thought about leaving. My heart stopped. I said, Emma, what happened? She said, I looked at Ethan and Lily. I thought about their faces. I could not do it. I chose to stay. I chose our family. But it was not easy, James. I want you to know that. I felt tears in my eyes. I said, Emma, you were stronger than me. I ran away to another country. I told myself it was for the family. But maybe it was also easy for me. I did not have to see the hard days. You saw every hard day. Emma did not answer. She just looked at me. The next morning, Ethan came to me. He walked into the kitchen slowly. His hands were in his pockets. He looked at the floor first, then at my face. He said, Dad, can we talk? My heart jumped a little. I did not know what he wanted to say. I said, yes, son, anything. He sat down across from me. He was quiet for a moment. Then he said, I built a small business last year. A little shop that fixes computers. I wanted to tell you on the phone, but I did not know how to talk to you anymore. You feel like a stranger. His words hurt me deeply. I felt like someone had pushed a knife into my chest. My own son felt like a stranger to me, but I understood why. I had been gone for so many years. I had missed his school days. I had missed his first job. I had missed the boy becoming a man. I took a slow breath. I said, Ethan, I am sorry I was not here. I am sorry for every day I missed. Can you teach me about your shop? I want to know you again. I want to know the man you have become. He looked surprised. His eyes opened wide for a second. I do not think he expected me to ask this. Maybe he thought I would be busy. Maybe he thought I would say I was tired from the flight, but I meant every word. Then he smiled a small smile. It was not a big smile, but it was real. He said, okay, Dad, come with me today. That day I went to Ethan's shop. It was a small place on a quiet street. The sign outside said, "Ethan's Computer Repair." I stood outside for a moment and looked at the sign. My son had built this with his own hands. I felt proud, but I also felt sad. I was not there when he built it. Inside, there were computers on every table. Wires were everywhere. Ethan put on his work apron. He picked up a small screwdriver. I watched him work. His hands moved quickly and carefully. He knew exactly what he was doing. I asked him, "How did you learn all this?" He said, "YouTube videos, Dad, and a lot of mistakes." He laughed a little when he said this. I laughed too. It felt good to laugh with my son. I asked more questions. What is wrong with this computer? Why is that light blinking? How much do you charge for this repair? At first, he answered slowly. His answers were short. Maybe he was still shy with me. Maybe he still felt the distance between us. But as the hours passed, he talked more and more. He told me stories about difficult customers. He told me about the day he almost broke an expensive laptop. He told me about his dream to open a bigger shop one day, with more workers and more computers. By the evening, we were laughing together. A customer came in with a very old computer. It made a strange noise, like a cat crying. Ethan and I both laughed so hard that the customer laughed too. It felt like a small light in a dark room. For the first time in many years, I felt close to my son. That night, I could not sleep. I lay in bed and thought about my life. I thought about all the meetings I had in Dubai. I thought about all the money I had sent home. I thought about the big house Emma had bought with that money. But none of that felt as important as one afternoon in a small computer shop with my son. I decided something important that week. I picked up my phone and called my company in Dubai. My boss answered. I said, "I am not coming back. I am staying with my family." There was silence on the phone for a moment. Then my boss said, "James, are you sure? You have a good position here. You will lose a lot of money if you leave." I thought about his words. Then I said, "I have already lost enough. I do not want to lose any more." My boss did not understand fully, but he wished me well. I put down the phone. My hands were shaking, but my heart felt light. I told Emma what I had done. She looked at me for a long time. Her eyes moved over my face, like she was trying to understand if I was serious. She did not say anything at first. The kitchen was very quiet. I could hear the clock ticking on the wall. Then she said quietly, "Are you sure, James? This is a big change." I understood why she asked this. For 12 years I had made promises. "One more year," I always said, "then I will come home." And every time, 1 more year became 2 more years. So why should she believe me now? I looked into her eyes. I said, "Emma, I am sure. I want to be here. I want to be a real father and a real husband, not just a voice on the phone." She was still quiet for a moment, then she nodded slowly. She did not smile yet, but she did not tell me it was a bad idea either. I think that small nod was the beginning of something new between us. I stayed in my hometown. I did not go back to Dubai. I sent an email to my apartment manager there. I asked him to pack my things and send them home. It felt strange to close that chapter of my life. 12 years in one place, and now it was over in one phone call and one email. I opened a small partnership with Ethan. I did not know much about computers. I did not know the difference between a hard drive and a motherboard, but I could help with other things. I had spent many years managing money at my job in Dubai, so I helped Ethan with the shop's money. I helped him make a simple plan for prices and profits. I helped him talk to customers who were angry about slow repairs. I learned that some customers just wanted someone to listen to their frustration, not just fix their computer. In the evenings, I helped him clean the shop. We swept the floor together. We put the tools back in their boxes. We turned off the lights and locked the door. These were small, simple jobs, but doing them with my son made them feel important. Slowly, I became part of his world. I was not just his father who sent money from far away anymore. I was a man who stood beside him every day. I also started going to Lily's college events. The first time I went, I felt nervous. It was strange to feel nervous about seeing my own daughter, but that is how it was. I did not know her friends. I did not know her teachers. I did not know the names of her favorite subjects or her favorite professor. 12 years is a long time to be away, and in that time, a whole world had grown around my daughter, a world I knew nothing about. I arrived early and found a seat in the back of the room. I did not want to make her feel uncomfortable. I did not want to be the strange father who sits in the front row after being absent for so long. From the back, I watched other parents talk with their sons and daughters before the event started. They laughed together, they hugged. I sat alone and watched. Then Lily walked to the front of the room. She spoke about her studies in front of everyone. Her voice was strong and clear. She stood tall, with confidence I did not expect. I watched her, and my eyes filled with tears. I thought, this is my daughter. This beautiful, smart young woman is my daughter. And I almost missed watching her grow into this. I thought about all the years I was not there. I thought about how she grew from a small girl with 2 braids into this confident young woman, and I had missed almost every step of that journey. After the presentation, people clapped. Lily smiled and walked off the stage. Then she saw me in the back of the room. Her steps slowed for a moment, like she was surprised. She walked over slowly. She said, "Dad, you came." Her voice was soft, almost like she could not believe it. I said, "Of course, Lily. I will always come now." I meant it with my whole heart. She smiled, but I could see something behind her eyes. Maybe doubt. Maybe old pain. Maybe she remembered all the times I said, "I will call you back," and never did. I understood her doubt. I did not try to argue with it. I understood that words are easy, actions take time to prove. I decided that day that I would keep showing up, again and again, until her doubt slowly disappeared. I sat with Emma in the evenings. This became a small habit for us. After dinner, we sat together at the table or on the small sofa in the living room. At first, our talks were short and quiet. We did not know how to talk to each other after so many years apart. We talked about small things. What we ate for dinner, what show we watched on television, the weather outside, whether it would rain tomorrow or stay clear. These conversations were simple, but they were important. They were not deep talks about our feelings or our past mistakes, not yet. But every simple conversation was like a small brick. And I learned that a home is not built with one big brick. A home is built slowly, with many small bricks, placed one at a time, day after day, until finally, without noticing exactly when, you look around and see that the walls have become strong again. One evening, Emma made my favorite soup. The same soup she used to make many years ago, before I left for Dubai. I took one spoonful and closed my eyes. It tasted like home. I said, "Emma, this tastes exactly like before." She smiled and said, "Some things do not change, James. Even when people are far away." I felt a small hope grow in my heart. Slowly, the distance between us became smaller. It did not happen in one day. It happened little by little, like a plant growing. Some days were easy. Some days were hard. There were days when Ethan was quiet with me. There were days when Lily seemed far away in her thoughts. There were days when Emma looked at me with old sadness in her eyes. I did not push. I only stayed. I showed up every day, again and again. One evening, Lily said to me, "Dad, I am glad you are home now." Her voice was soft and honest. I said, "I am sorry it took me so long, Lily." She said, "It is okay, Dad. You are here now. That is what matters." Her words touched something deep inside me. I remembered all the years I sent money instead of hugs. I remembered all the birthdays I missed. I remembered all the phone calls that ended with, "I love you, I miss you," but never with a real hug. Lily's simple words told me that maybe, just maybe, it was not too late. Emma looked at me across the table. She smiled softly. It was not the same smile from 12 years ago. That old smile was young and full of easy hope. This new smile was different. It was a smile that had seen pain. It was a smile that had waited through many lonely nights. But it was a real smile, a true one. And to me, it was more beautiful than the smile from 12 years ago, because I knew what it had survived. Months passed. The little computer shop grew bigger. Ethan hired one more worker. Lily finished her studies and got a good job in our town. She did not need to move far away. Emma and I began to take small walks together in the evening, just like we did when we were young and newly married. One night, we all sat together at the dinner table. Ethan told a funny story about a customer. Lily laughed so hard she almost dropped her fork. Emma shook her head and smiled. I looked around the table at my family. My real family. Not just the family in old photographs. The family sitting right in front of me, alive and laughing. I lost many years with my family. I cannot get those years back. No amount of money and no number of phone calls can return the time that is gone. I missed birthdays. I missed school plays. I missed the small, quiet moments that build a real family. But I learned something important, something I will carry in my heart forever. Money can build a big house, but only time can build a real home. A family does not need gifts from far away. A family does not need expensive presents sent once a year. A family needs a person who stays close, who listens, who is present every single day. A family needs hands that help, not just money that arrives in an envelope. Now I know, the family I lost was never truly lost. They were only waiting for me to come home, and I am so grateful that, in the end, I finally did. If you like this story, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.